Hello, the internet. My name is Fran. I'm here today with my husband, Michael.
That's me.
And someone in the comments of one of our other videos asked if we could do, that's one of my hairs, asked if we could do a close-up of some of the trackers with some more detail. I believe that person is called Anita. So Anita, this video is exclusively and entirely for you.
Anita Beaver, that was the one.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I am going to show just the yearly flip-throughs, not even the yearly flip. Not even the yearly flip-throughs, just the tracker pages of the three journals of the Susie, the Holly and the Julia, and then I will do a little bit of a sneak peek of the Fran, which is coming soon, which is my journal. So just a quick recap for anyone who may or may not have been here before and be interested or not. This is a Scribble and Dot journal. This is Avocado and Spice. This is Scribbles That Matter, and this one is a Dingbats. This is a square, I think it's 22 by 22 centimetres, A4, and both of these are B5.
We are also not sponsored by any of these.
I wish we were sponsored by any of these.
But we're up for it.
Yeah. So let's start with the Susie, because it's nice and simple and straightforward, because there's only sort of 1 pages of the tracker. I think I can zoom in post filming.
I don't think you want to fiddle about with that. I don't think you need it. You can just point.
I'll point, but I might zoom in. Anyway, I'll zoom in. Whatever. So this is just the tracker page. She's got the mood tracker, which is very straightforward. I haven't even gone in and like blocked out the months that don't have 31 days. Like I've just left them 12 by 31 with no fussiness. I haven't done any colour coding because I figure that that is something that the person who fills in the journal might want to do. We've got 5 degrees of good for the mood.
I love these. It's very interesting seeing these when it's not sped up to 1000%, because I get to see all of the little nuances that I kind of missed, and I didn't realise the categories you had of a Matthew McConaughey category.
I do. So it's just the best is like, yeah, and then the worst is like, no. And then in the middle you've got like, yes, as a how was the day. The health tracker, I've got the descending diagonal numbers, which the reasoning was twofold. Firstly,
you were sick of writing.
Yeah, firstly, I'd just written out all the numbers there and all the numbers there, so I didn't really want to write them out again. But also, I figured that she's only got 3 spaces per day anyway, or per day. So if I took up one of those with a number, then that makes spacing just a bit more difficult. She's got the spaces here. I think she's got 10 of these that she can write like her symbol or her colour, and then whatever they mean for things that are like frequently recurring. So like if she often gets like headaches and a high temperature, she can put like 2 things there and then link them. The other option would also be to colour code and be like, this means go to, you could have like red means go to that day, there's more information there. So she could have an option just to contain more information if needed. This was the savings tracker. Didn't put any like.
Well, it's a blank slate.
It's a blank
slate,
so she could either put like the amount at the top and then like percentages of that amount, or she could put in like specific goals to be like £100, specifically £5, £20 or whatever. Like they don't have to be uniform, they can be whatever. And then self-care bingo is it's bingo but with self-care, so she fills it in with stuff that she wants to do for herself for the year, and then she can cross them off, and then when she gets bingo, she gets bingo.
There is no prize.
So, actually, one thing that I did want to say about this paper, so I think it's 160 or 180 GSM. The dots are so like pale and invisible if we flick to just any random page. The 7th of August, but also the 14th of August, and also September.
Planning!
You can barely see the dots. So personally, I hate working in this.
Because you're a dot person.
I'm a dot person. I like to use the dots specifically for my measurements.
Okay.
And like I can appreciate that for someone who's into like creative journaling where they're like using lots of colours or watercolours or, you know, pens and whatever, that's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. For me, doing the setup and the way that I do the setups, it's been a nightmare because I can barely see the dots. And I also feel like if I were 10 years younger, that wouldn't be a problem. But I'm not, so it
Back
is.
in my day, the dots were well defined.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the Julia next. The Julia is a thinner paper. It's only 120 GSM, but as we can see, well, let's look at here where you've got the monthly budget written. There's like absolutely no bleeding or ghosting on either side of the pages. So
oh no, I asked this before and you got really excited,
I
so
did
I'm
get
going to
excited.
ask it again.
I was hoping you would.
Fran, what's the difference between bleeding and ghosting?
So bleeding is when the ink like spreads and it soaks into the paper and it like feathers out and you get like a really fuzzy blurred line. And then ghosting is where the ink is visible from the other side of the paper. So ghosting is actually not neither of those are an issue in this one. In this journal, bleeding not an issue, ghosting a little bit of an issue, but we'll get there. Julia's got 3 trackers on the front. She's got the mood tracker. Again, she's got the 5 places where she can categorize what she wants to. I actually didn't put in any of the titles for the categories for these because I thought that Julia might want to do something herself.
Yeah, fair.
And again, with the period tracker, I've written out
Given
the
a lot
boxes.
more categories.
Well, because you have lots of different categories for period stuff.
Sure.
But I haven't written down any of them. I actually have done in Holly's, but that's not important. And then, did I do something nice for myself today? Again, I've left 5 little spaces so that she can write down 5 things that she would like to be doing for herself regularly.
Lovely. Okay. And then your Dutch door
and then
opening.
I got my Dutch door flipperoonie. We've got the monthly budgets, which I think I say this in her video, but she wanted like a bit of budgeting, but not like obsessive budgeting. So she just has a space to write like the budget, how much she spent and how much she saved. And then she can see it all over the year. And she also has a little space where she can just be like, did I put extra money into savings throughout the year? And she can just put the date and how much she put in, just as like extra savings put away.
And am I right in thinking that she doesn't need to look at it if she doesn't want to?
She doesn't need to look at it if she doesn't want to.
That's brilliant. Okay.
So she only has to look at it if it's relevant. She also has
the hidden
anxiety tracker, which I think you made the joke multiple times across various videos, about how apt it is that the anxiety tracker is right next to the monthly budgets.
Well, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. I think it's a good idea. I like it.
Every time I look at my budgets, that's an anxious day.
Yeah.
But this is, again, you know, who doesn't have anxiety these days? But it's one of those things that if there are days that are particularly bad, or if there's like, you know, things happening, like going on in life, then you can just put a note there. Again, she has space if she wants to like link a key, so she can be like, I was specifically anxious about guests coming over.
Sure, yeah.
In one colour.
She could write her own, define her own categories
or
and things.
she can leave it blank and just not. She could also just not use it at all. That was an email, I think, from somewhere.
My God.
And again, dates and details information there. I don't know why it's so low on the page. I don't know why I didn't make it all the way to the top, but that's...
No, it was a decision. Style.
for me to know and nobody else to find out.
You said you didn't know.
Then it's also for me not to find out.
For no one to know.
For no one to know.
No one to find out.
So this is the Holly.
This is my favourite because, and it's a really shallow reason, because it's got a bear on the front, and I really like the design.
Yeah, that's true. So that's her flip out key, and that's the little hidden passwords tab.
Oh yeah.
And then we get to her trackers. Here comes the cat. Hello, darling. Nope, that's a bad idea.
But I want to be in the video.
Okay,
Okay, who's a big girl?
So, okay, please love the cat more quietly. So Holly, again, she has a mood tracker and she has her mood key. Holly's mood key is a little bit different. Holly is a big horror movie fan, so I texted her and asked her for a totally abstract list of movies, ranging from movies that she would happily watch every day on repeat indefinitely to a movie that she wishes that she could scrub from existence. And then in the middle you have movies that are like she likes it and she would happily watch it again if it was on TV, and she wouldn't choose to watch it, but if someone else wanted to watch it, she would happily watch it with them.
And again, another lovely thing about, because I'm a film person, another lovely thing about you not going through it at 1,000 miles an hour is I got to see these films, and I'm a horror fan as well.
But these actually weren't written in the first video. I didn't get that information until later.
Oh, I just assume that I haven't paid enough attention.
That's fair.
But yeah, this is an excellent list of films. It's certainly the perfect film to scrub from everyone's memory.
Yeah, I googled it to see what the synopsis was.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't. So thanks, Holly.
But yeah, lots of props for Dog Soldiers. That's definitely one of the best films ever made.
Okay, I will believe you. She also has a period key, and I've just given her 3 symptoms and 3 colours that she can like pop in, and her health symptom key, again, it links to over here, but she's got 5 colours that she can, or symbols if she wants to, that she can like fix up how she likes. But she also has space here for health details, which is quite fun. And then behind the flapperoonie, behind the Dutch door, she has, we've discussed this again in her video, she has a historic eating disorder, and so most of the time totally under control, doesn't need to think about it, and then sometimes she might have like an event, and so here she can just write down if that happens, and she can write down any details. But again, like with Julia and the anxiety, you don't need to look at it unless it's super relevant. And the nice thing is that then she can see if that correlates to like specific things in the health or in the mood or in the period. Like she has all that information there if she needs it.
This is the cross-referencing page.
This is the cross-referencing page. I love a convoluted system. And then lastly we get to my one. This is actually, where's my actual journal? Oh, it's here. So this is actually, mine is going to be a 2-part system. I used to use a traveller's notebook and traveller's journal with multi-notebooks, and I think at one point I was up to like a 6-book system and it got ridiculous, so that crashed and burned.
Yeah, I remember you describing the 6-book system to me. And I remember
we should have filmed it so you could review it later.
No, I don't think it was as happy as peppy as our other ones. I was desperately trying to fall asleep.
Yes.
You were like, no, Michael, book 4.
Alright. So again, because I love a Dutch door, we got a little Dutch door in there. Mine is not particularly decorated. I've assigned a colour to each month, and then that colour just runs through the whole year. And I've tried to keep them vaguely tonal, so we've got like the wintry colours, and then the spring colours, and then the summery colours, and then the autumny colours. I know that December is not autumn and December is winter. I don't care, because otherwise the colours didn't look as nice. Like that blue here, not nice.
I have a question actually about the Dutch door on this one. And I thought the Dutch doors were the ones that
had the folds
open and then folded out further.
So I have no basis for knowing this other than I think it's true. I believe that the Dutch door is just you know, like barn doors or like stable doors where you've got like one door that opens half, or like the bottom half or the top half.
I just want you to keep doing this.
I think it's just any page that's cut that turns in different ways.
Okay.
So I have, that's going to be my budget tracker, where it's just like I've got expected the budget, like my spending budget, and then what I actually did. Because I'm self-employed and I don't have like a fixed income, it's important that I have somewhere to keep track of like what I was expecting and what actually went in and came out, because sometimes it varies a lot. These are my habit trackers. You see that I've actually gone in and done the like tail ends of all of them. I feel a bit bad about not having done that to everybody's, but I did these in bed over about 4 days, so I had a lot more time to dedicate to them.
This is your
This is my one. My one is better than everyone else's. I put more effort into my own than into my friends.
Well, yes, of course you do. That's normal.
Sure. So I've got all of my keys up here because I couldn't fit them all onto the page otherwise. And I've got water intake, less than, between, or more than 1 and 2 litres.
Sure.
Exercise intensity, so nothing all day, gentle workout, intense workout, or like those days when you're like moving furniture around all day and you're just like active all day.
Sure.
Period problems, because that's alliteration and I
Just
like it.
specifically problems.
Well, because it's like exercise intensity, hair care, mood meter, period problems. Like I like the like.
Oh, the alliteration.
I like the poetry of it. The poetry of my titles. I've got some symptoms that I know that I always have.
Sure.
And then
and some Egyptian hieroglyphs to go along with them.
yes, well those are the glyphs that go with the symptoms.
Of course.
So this bottom half here, I've got spotting, barely there, mainstream and intense, and that's to do with obviously the flu.
Oh,
and
obviously.
then I have also the colour sort of, because sometimes this is far too much information for anyone on the internet.
Like the rabbit hole you're about to go down is not necessarily YouTube appropriate.
All I'm saying is sometimes you might have like a little bit of bleeding or like a lot more bleeding, but sometimes it might be like lighter or darker, and that can indicate the beginning or the end or the middle or different points in the cycle itself. That's it.
Yeah, and it goes anyway from skin to poo.
Yeah, okay, fine. And then I have my mood meter, which is actually, this is a further development from an already overly convoluted system that I had. I've got, based on character design sort of standards, I've got circles, squares and triangles, meaning soft, stable and dynamic. And then I've also got red, yellow and blue being my least favourite colour, so it's bad, good, neutral and bad. So if I'm having like a stable day, then that could be like a good day where I feel like really confident, or it could be like a bad day where I feel like really angry and dense and heavy and like solid, you know? And if I'm having like a dynamic day, that could be good in that I'm really productive and really on the ball and I'll like get loads done, or it could be bad, like I'm totally frazzled and crazy and like I can't get anything sorted because my brain is franzled. I'm a bit frantic. So, and then obviously you've got neutral, which is just like I was soft, but it wasn't a good day or a bad day particularly. It was just like whatever. So those are the habit trackers. Hello, this is future editing Fran. What transpired here was a rabbit hole of about 45 minutes where I went into a lot of detail about a journal which isn't actually finished. So I'm just going to cut all of that and skip to the end. Michael would agree if he were here, but he's in the office. So, see you in a bit.
So yes,
That's pretty much everything. If you've made it this far, first of all, why? And secondly, secondly, if you have made it this far, leave a comment talking about how much you like dingbats. And I'll make you a journal for 2024 or mid-year for 2023, depending on if I have time.
Nobody wants a mid-year journal.
Oh no, some people do, because some people have like a journal that lasts them 6 months. Like they do like a 1-book journal, but instead of having like the spreads like I'm doing them, they just take a bit more space so they can include more information. And they go through like 2 or 3 books a year. So
cool.
It's like a thing.
All right.
So yeah, so if you've made it this far and you want a journal in 2024, talk to me about dingbats in the comments. It's our secret code.
Will it be everyone?
I mean, I don't think that many people are going to take it up.
Be careful. I think you should say the first person.
Okay, the first person, and if loads and loads of people...
We also have to buy a journal.
Okay, so we'll do this. It'll be the first person to comment, guaranteed a journal. Then if loads of people after that also comment, then I'll do a lucky draw, and I'll do 2, and I'll do like a name out of a hat for the second one.
Okay.
Okay, but if not that many people comment, then I might just make those. So, okay. Bye.